morning, Tomley, and welcome to our Read Across the District. We have some amazing stories to tell you, and these stories I hope will take you into places you've never been. And we've got some amazing readers lined up for you. So I want to welcome our first set of readers. It's Ms. Aguilar and Kaylet. Welcome. What are you reading today?
We're reading My Colors, My World.
Awesome. Go ahead.
My colors, my world.
Mis colores, mi mundo.
My colors, my world.
Mis colores, mi mundo.
By Maya Cristina Gonzalez. Sometimes in the desert where I live, the wind blows very, very hard.
A veces en el desierto donde vivo, el viento sopla muy, muy fuerte.
Desert sands covers everything the same color.
La arena del desierto lo cubre todo. Todo parece del mismo color.
I open my eyes extra wide to find the colors in my world.
Abro bien los ojos para encontrar los colores de mi mundo.
Of all the colors I find, I like hot pink the best. It's the color of the desert sunset.
De todos estos colores, el color que más me gusta es el rosa. Es el color de la puesta del sol.
I wear pink in the morning. I wear it in the afternoon. I wear it all the time.
Llevo puesto el color rosa por la mañana. Lo llevo puesto por la tarde. Lo llevo puesto toditos los días.
On hot days, I go to the shady side of the house. I make mud pies with squishy brown mud and orange marigold flowers.
Cuando hace calor voy al lado sombreado de la casa. Hago pasteles con el lodo suave de color marrón y con caléndulas anaranjadas.
I invite purple irises to be my guests for tea. Yellow pollen picks at me.
Invito a los lirios color violeta a merendar. El polen amarillo no me deja de mirar.
Back on the sunny side of the house, the cactus grows green and sharp.
En el lado soleado de la casa, el cacto crece verde y afilado.
In the backyard, I sway on my swing. I helped my puppy build it and paint it the perfect shade of red.
En el patio me meso en el columpio. Ayudé a mi papi a construirlo y a pintarlo de un tono de rojo perfecto.
When my puppy comes home from work, I see his shiny black hair.
Cuando mi papi vuelve a casa del trabajo, veo su pelo negro y brillante.
I love all the colors in my world. Every day I watch the hot pink sky turn into a dark blue night.
Me encantan todos los colores de mi mundo. Cada día veo el cielo rosado convertirse en noche azul.
The end.
That was awesome. Totally amazing. Big hand for you guys. Good job.
Thank you.
How long have you been reading in Spanish?
Well,
Kaylet?
how long?
3 days?
3 days.
3 days.
I think it's longer than 3 days. You did an amazing job. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in and sharing that with us. Awesome. All right. Next up, we have another set of wonderful readers, and they're getting ready to come on in. Wasn't that just amazing? Kaylet Aguilar and his mom reading. All right, we're in for another good treat. And we want to welcome Mr. Wood and his son Malachi. What are you reading now?
We are going to read A Tale of Two Beasts
by Fiona Robertson.
Awesome.
A Tale of Two Beasts, Part 1, The Strange Beast. I was walking down home from Grandma's house through the deep, dark woods when I spied a strange little beast. He was stuck up a tree and whining sadly. Beep, beep. So I decided to rescue him. Beep. I will call you Fang, I told him, and I wrapped him up warmly in my scarf and carried him safely home. I gave him a lovely bath and a gorgeous new hat and sweater and a delicious bowl of fresh nuts. I made him a beautiful house and gave him Lord Rex to play with. I took him out for lots of long walks to keep him fit and healthy. And I showed him off to all of my friends who loved him nearly as much as I did. Ooh, amazing, awesome, so cute. But for some strange reason, the little beast did not look very happy. In fact, he was looking rather hot. I hope he's not sick, I thought, and opened the window to cool him down. But then something terrible happened. He threw off his clothes, leapt out the window, bang, and ran away as fast as he could back to the deep, dark woods. I wanted to go and look for him, but Mama had other plans. Dinner time, ugh. Bath time, ugh. Bedtime, ugh. I couldn't sleep. I missed the little beast and wondered if I would ever see him again. But then a small furry shadow appeared at the foot of my bed. The strange little beast had returned. He seemed quite pleased to see me, and I began to think that maybe, just maybe, he wasn't so strange after all. I wonder why he came back.
A Tale of Two Beasts, Part 2, The Terrible Beast. I was hanging from my favorite tree singing happily to the birds when... Hey! I was ambushed by a terrible beast. She growled at me and tied me up and carried me off to her secret lair. She made me disgustingly clean and dressed me up in a ridiculous hat and sweater and tried to make me eat squirrel food. She kept me in a tiny box with nothing for me to do and nowhere for me to hang from. She made me walk backwards and forwards and backwards again for no reason whatsoever. She showed me off to a herd of even wilder beasts who were just as terrible as she was. I had enough. I made a cunning plan and put it straight into action. Free once more! I raced back to the deep dark woods before the terrible beast could catch me. It was peaceful in the deep dark woods. A bit too peaceful, perhaps, and also a bit wet. And weather like this one could do with a nice warm hat. I snuck back to retrieve it under cover of darkness. The terrible beast was waiting for me. She seemed quite pleased to see me, and I began to think that maybe, just maybe, she wasn't that terrible after all.
The end. Oh, awesome. Great job, Malachi and Mr. Woods. Great job. You guys are amazing readers together. That is very great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Next up, we're going to have another family coming in to read, and this one's going to be a really great surprise. So we're taking you into places and reading that you've probably never done before. All right, here they're coming. Go ahead and sit there. We have Mr. Liao, Giovanni, and Isabella. Welcome. Welcome, family readers. And what are you reading for us today?
Today we're going to be reading Bear Came Along.
Nice.
Bear Came Along. All right, Bear Came Along by Richard T. Morris. Once there was a river that flowed night and day, but it didn't know it was a river until Bear came along. Bear was just being curious when he realized what the river could do, but he didn't know he was on an adventure until
Froggy hopped on. Froggy was a lonely frog who was looking for a friend, but she didn't know how many she had. Until the turtles tried to warn them about the things that could go wrong, but they didn't know how to enjoy the ride. Until Beaver climbed aboard. Beaver was born to captain. He knew exactly where to go, but he didn't know about the detours until the raccoons dropped in. The raccoons were so excited about the twists and turns ahead, but they didn't know they had to be careful. Until they crashed into a duck. Duck was so content being right where she was, but she didn't know there was a world to see.
Until what? What do you think? Until the waterfall, right? Yeah. Uh-oh. So Bear held on to Froggy. Froggy held on to Turtles. Turtles held on to Beaver. Beaver held on to Raccoons. Raccoons held on to Duck. Oh, what a ride. So many different animals living their separate lives, but they didn't know they were in it together until the river came along. Yeah.
Awesome. You guys did an amazing job. That is so good.
Thank you so much, Mrs.
Big
Daly.
hand. Thank you, Giovanni. Thank you, Isabella. Awesome job. Good family readers. Nice. All right. We are going to begin our mystery readers now. And our first one we're going to bring in. This one is going to be a brave bull reader that we're going to have today. And let me bring in our brave bull reader. Hi, Mr. Bull. How are you doing today?
Good.
Good. What are you reading for us today, Mr. Brave Bull?
I'm going to read Eat Pete by Michael Rex.
Nice.
Pete was playing on his bedroom floor when a monster appeared at his window. "Hi," said Pete. "Do you want to play cards with me?" The monster didn't want to play cards with Pete. He wanted to eat Pete. But playing cards looked like fun. So they had some races. They set up parking lots. They made crashes. "Hey," said Pete, "what should we do next? Do you want to play pirates?" The monster did not want to play pirates with Pete. He wanted to eat Pete. But the monster had never played pirates before. They dug for treasure. He walked the plank. They acted like scallywags. "Next," said Pete, "I think we should play blocks." The monster did not want to play blocks with Pete. He wanted to eat Pete. But he liked building things, so they made a castle. They built towers. They knocked them down. "Now," said Pete, "we should play superheroes." The monster did not want to play superheroes with Pete. He wanted to eat Pete. So he ate him. The monster piled up some blocks. He put on the pirate hat. He spun the wheels of a car. It wasn't any fun to play alone. He missed Pete. So he spat him out. "That was not very nice," Pete told the monster. "Sorry. Do you want to play superheroes?" asked Pete. The monster did not want to play superheroes with Pete. He wanted to hug Pete.
Oh, that is so good, mystery reader. Did you enjoy reading that book for us?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. And we hope you enjoyed Eat Pete. All right, we're going to have another mystery reader, and this one is going to be a Cat in the Hat mystery reader. And our Cat in the Hat is going to read an awesome book. And what's the title of your story?
The book no one ever read. Every book longs to tell its story. From the moment they're bound, they wait for fingers to open them up. Do they? Well, books are as different as people. Some are adventurers and want many readers, while others have forgotten they once longed to tell their stories. The library Maury lived in was full of such books. Maury was only 5 years old, and that is very young for a book. But he thought that 5 years are an awfully long time to just sit on a shelf. So one day he pushed himself forward, just a few inches. "And where do you think you're going?" asked Victor. He was very proud of the gold on his spine. "Yes, what are you doing?" asked Jane. "But I'm bored," Maury exclaimed. "No one ever reads us." "Well, lucky us," exclaimed Nietzsche from a shelf above. "No fingerprints on our pages, no cracks, no bent corners." "Yes," whispered Beatrix, "one hears terrible things. Books left open for days and days, weeks even." She went on and on, pages smeared with coffee and chocolate. The others moaned after each sentence. "Okay, that's terrible," said Maury, "but not as terrible as nothing happens, ever. I want fingerprints on my pages. I want to be read until I come apart." Oh, the moaning and rustling that filled the library. Quiet, all of you, shouted Dumas, who claimed you could learn fencing just by reading him. The young one is right. I would love to leave, but I am so old I guess my spine would come off. Leave? Asked Maury. How? Well, why don't you jump? Victor said. And before Maury could say, wait, Victor pushed him off the shelf, with a little help from Jane. Luckily, Maury landed on his back. The other books stared down at him in horror. Well, actually, some of them looked quite pleased. And just when Maury got up, the woman who dusted their pages walked in. Maury gathered all his courage and slipped through the door. Freedom! Maury ran and ended up on top of a huge staircase. He stepped closer when something furry jumped at him, something furry with claws. And Maury fell. He fell down all the stairs. Oh, it hurt. He landed in front of 2 slippers. And suddenly there were fingers and eyes. The fingers were slightly sticky, but it was wonderful. The fingers wrote a name on Maury's first page, and the eyes read all the words he'd kept for so long inside. And Maury was so happy. The end.
Thank you, mystery reader Cat in the Hat. That was an awesome book. Why did you pick that book?
I just love the title and the cover of the book. I think all books should be read until they fall apart.
Thank you. All right, we are in for another treat. We have another guest reader. This one is going to be our little girl reader. And she is going to read you, what's the name of your story?
Green as a bean.
Green as a bean. Thank you.
If you could be green, would you be a lawn or a lingering bean? And then stop, it is on. Would you be a leaf on a leafy tree? Tell me, lingering one, what would you be? If you could be a square, would you be a box containing a cake? Or a house or blocks with a painted letters from A to Z? Tell me, fair square one, what would you be? If you could be soft, would you be the snow or 25 pillows? Or breezy that blow, the blossoms that fall from the sassafras tree? Tell me, sweet soap one, what would you be? If you could be loud, would you be at the sound of thunder at night? Or the howl of hound as he bites at the moon, or the pound of the sea? Tell me, proud loud one, that would you be? If you could be small, would you be a mouse or mouse's child, or a mouse's house or a mouse's houses from door key? Tell me, a small one, what would you be? If you could be red, would you be a car that races the wind, or jam in a jar, or an acrobat's tights with a hole in the knee? Tell me, red one, what would you be? If you could be fierce and roar with rage, would you be a tiger and pay your cage? Would you be a dragon or 2 or 3? Tell me, most fierce one, what would you be? If you could be blue, would you be the sky or some early clouds and 3 birds up high?
or one blue eye that winks at me? Tell me, big blue one, what will you be? If you could be bright, would you be the sun? Or a starry night, or 1,001 fireflies flying and flickering free? Tell me, quiet, bright one, what would you be? Would you be? If you could be at somebody holding a book who looked just exactly the way that you look, who turned all these pages and then say, I'm through. Tell me, my dear one, would you be you?
The end. Oh, that's a good book, little mystery reader girl. That was awesome. Thank you so much for reading with us today. I think I'd like to be a firefly. All right, we have one more mystery reader, and this one is going to be Francine, and she's going to get ready to read for you all. Good morning, Francine. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I am doing amazing. I love hearing all these stories. All right, what's the title of your book today?
This story is called Crunch and Crack, Oink and Whack, an onomatopoeia story.
Nice.
It's Onomatopoeia Day in Miss Garcia's class at Clip Clop Country School for Girls and Boys. The buses, cars, and kids arrive in groups of 3 or 4 or 5. The hallways hum and buzz with all their noise. One day every year, the students go out on a hunt, a favorite exercise of Miss Garcia, to search the grounds and school for something interesting and cool. It's what is known as onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia is a special kind of word that imitates the sound of what is named. Bang is one, and so is buzz, and click, and snap, and clank, because the words and how they sound are much the same. Onomatopoeia Day. The kids begin exploring in the science lab or gym, or undertake a band room expedition. They go to where there'll be a lot of onomatopoeia and call it out by name, because it's their mission. The school is tucked among a brook, a meadow, and a farm that's home to chickens, goats, and cows and sheep. Bah! Yelled Mackenzie. Logan added in a frenzy. Moo and cluck and chirp and also cheep. Babble, called out Alex as she peered into the brook, then flutter as she spied a butterfly. Quack, said Isla loudly as Dakota pointed proudly and said honk just as a goose was passing by. Mrs. Pryor's workshop is where Vivian heard a clink, and Levi wrote down buzz and clink and whir. A long metallic steady ching came from the wheel-like weird wiry thing. A tiny motored fan gave off a purr. Outside Mr. Hernan's room, Fiona noted twang, a rat-a-tat-tat, a breet, an oompah-pah, a jingle-jangle toot and tap, and Blair a rattle ting and clap. A plink, plunk, a boom, and a wah-ha-ha. Lily racked up several more inside the gym that day, like dribble, bounce, swish, and crunch, and crack. Whoosh, as tennis balls were hit, thud, when baseballs reached a mitt, and later woof and poof and whiff and whack. Just inside the restroom is where Brooke detected drip and ping and sputter, also splash and sprinkle. Pam said softly, spatter, then Avery pitter-patter, along with whisper, fizz, and flush, and tinkle. Mrs. Joyce's science lab where Bryce observed a gurgle, and Ruby heard a hiss coming from the beakers. Both heard spurts and ringing and the sound of timers dinging, and a high-pitched squeak from Mrs. Joyce's sneakers. Later that afternoon, the class had a buzz about it when everyone, including Miss Garcia, gathered sharing what they'd found. Each zip and plop and screeching sound, each captured bit of onomatopoeia. The principal walked by and heard a belch, a bray, a burp, meow and shriek and grunt, a whoop and whoosh. When when she heard the loudest screecher, she assumed they had no teacher, and she opened up the door and shouted, "Shh!"
Awesome. That was really, really good, Francine. What was your favorite onomatopoeia word?
Oh, there's so many. I don't think I have a favorite one, but I liked rat-a-tat-tat
Rat-a-tat-tat?
and honk, like the goose.
Oh, one of my favorite is zoom and zip, those Z words. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed our reading across the district. Make sure you get your form. We had the following mystery readers for the form. We had our Brave Bull reader, and then we had our Cat in the Hat reader. I wonder who that was. Then our third reader was the little girl. She did an amazing job. And lastly, we had our onomatopoeia story by Francine. So mark who you think our mystery readers were, get them down to the library, and you'll have some extra time. Remember, reading is important for all of us. It helps us, and I hope you enjoyed our reading across the district. Thank you guys for watching, and bye.